Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Get Up and Get Hype. This is the very first episode of my podcast, so thank you all for tuning in. This is also my birthday episode, 30th birthday today, so thank you for all the birthday shout outs I got from everybody. Very much appreciated. Excuse me. Um, a little bit about myself. I'm a recovering addict turned what I dub as social media influencer. I'm a bit of a podcaster. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, you name it, you can find me. Um, and the basis of what I'm doing here is just to show people that when you put your mind to it and you eliminate certain people from your social circles, that anything you set your mind to is possible. And I'm living proof because, 131 days ago, I decided to get my shit together, and I've been on an uphill climb ever since. So it's been a little bit of a journey to get to the point where I can produce this for you guys, but it's been fun. It's been fun. I've learned a lot about podcasting, about social media, and the way that it all works. And I've learned a lot about myself and the strengths that I have. Um, it's been a good reminder, um, of just how powerful I am. So thank you guys for all the love and support that is gotten me to the point where something like this has become possible. I very much appreciate that. A couple of quick PSAs before we started. Um, PSA number one: don't be a dickhead, right? If you're out there, right, walk by somebody, happen to notice an outfit you don't like, or a haircut that doesn't really flatter them all that well, just keep that shit to yourself. Don't be an asshole. PSA number two, of course, make somebody smile, right? A smile is something that costs next to nothing to give, even if it's just walking down the road with one on your face. So you're out there today, make somebody smile. PSA number three is going to be, and I mean, these will change every time, guys. Except for don't be a dickhead. That's the number one, never changing PSA, because, I live by that. When you're out there, don't be a dickhead. But PSA 3 today is going out to everybody here in Canada, all my listeners here in Canada, and everybody all over the world, really. Since this whole corona thing has started, shit's been getting crazy. But honestly, guys, I know nobody likes to wear the masks. I know, it's a pain in the ass and blah, blah, blah. But, we got some spots that are going into third and fourth lockdowns now. So, be smart, maintain your distance, wear your masks, wash your hands, use common sense shit. Other than that, guys, I love you all. Stay safe, play safe, stay rocking, stay beautiful, badass selves. Because who you are is more than enough, even if it only ever is just a me. So, as you guys know, it's my 30th birthday today. So, I wasn't really sure when I started this episode what I was going to talk about. Hell, I'm still not too sure what I'm going to talk about entirely, but I got a few points that I want to touch on. Um, you know, I guess a little bit of introduction. I'm a father of a 6-year-old little girl who means the world to me. I'm the son to a mom and a dad who are still together and still madly in love, and I'm a brother to three amazing sisters. So a little bit of a background for me. I come from a rural spot in Nova Scotia, right? I don't come from nothing fancy. I come from a blue collar house. My dad worked 2 jobs. My mom was a stay at home mom for 3 kids. Well, 4 if you include my half sister from my dad's previous marriage. When she was around. But I don't come from anything fancy, and that's another reason why I wanted to do this, was to show y'all that you don't gotta come from much. If you just put the fucking work in, you can make it happen. But ain't nobody gonna give you handouts, right? Nothing comes for free. So just put your fucking head down, do the work that it takes, and you will get to where you're going eventually. There's no doubt about it. Gotta turn my volume down here. Yeah, see, the joys of it being a one man show is I gotta do everything myself kind of as I go. But, you know, again, learning curves. But, I guess today's topic, what I want to touch on, given that it's my 30th birthday, and I've been through a lot of shit in my life. I've been through a couple of house fires that have left me with nothing. I've suffered from addiction. I've done a lot of traveling in my life. Started at a very young age, and I grew up in a pretty interesting community, especially being openly bisexual. Um, in my early 20s, it was interesting, but that's another episode. um, what I want to talk about today is just knowing your self worth, right? Knowing the value that you have, because I think that's important, and I think that it's something that a lot of people struggle with. Because of events that they've had happen over the course of their lifetime. Different people telling them, certain things, like you're too fat or you're too thin or you're not smart enough or like all this stupid ass shit that everybody wants to tell people. um, but guys, one thing, and it took me a long time to realize it, but one thing that I realized, that the moment you stop caring about everybody else's opinion and you realize that the only one that truly fucking matters is the one that's staring back at you in the mirror, in the mirror in the morning, is a life changer, because that's when you really start to not only learn to appreciate your own company, but learn to really truly value the skills and the assets that you possess. And when you start to hone in on those, that's when success truly comes. So in order for success to happen, you got to know what you're worth, and a lot of people don't nowadays, because it's too easy to put somebody down. And I've always said it's easier for people to deconstruct what you've got going on than to reconstruct something of their own. So that's part of the reason why a lot of people don't realize their self-worth now, is because so many people over the years have tossed them falsified thoughts of their own, portrayed onto myself, or in my listeners case, like you guys. And you know when you stop paying attention to everybody, and you just realize that nobody else's fucking opinion matters except for your own, um, what you're able to do is limitless, because you realize nothing can stop you. And it took me, like I said, a long time to realize that. And I think it's a very important lesson that that people need to learn. And it's not like an overnight fix. It's not like, oh, I know I'm I'm a good human being. I'm this, I'm that. It takes time, because those walls and those mental barriers that prevent you from seeing your worth didn't get there overnight. So tearing those down isn't going to come overnight either, and that's something that a lot of people get frustrated with. They don't see success right away. They do all these changes, and then they do them for a week, and then go, well, nothing's changed. Well, last time I checked it was years of incidences and occurrences that got you to the mentality and the mindset of not being able to see your own self-worth when you look in the mirror. That changed back to the way things used to be, in the sense that you can look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of who you are and what you see, is not going to happen overnight either. Right? It's going to take weeks. It's going to take months. I'm 131 days into a life change, and I constantly get up every day and notice different things about myself that I'd forgotten. You know, I forgot that I could be this motivated and this driven towards a project when I, put my mind to it. I forgot that I had the talent necessary, to get on here, and the confidence necessary to get on here and do what it is that I'm doing. Because a lot of people, they want to, but they can't. The fear keeps them stuck, and it stems from fear of the opinions of others. And The moment you let that go, guys, I'm telling you, your whole fucking life is going to change. Like, everything in your life will drastically change. And I don't know, it's just, I guess it's one of those things, you guys listening are all like, oh, it's easier said than done. Well, yeah, I used to think that too, until I actually fucking did it and realized that once I started doing it, it was a hell of a lot easier to maintain that momentum than what it was to try and start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. And it's a hell of a lot less frustrating to maintain that momentum because you have all the positive pushing you forward, right? And that's what you guys got to realize, man. Like, I know a lot of you guys tuning into this know me from TikTok, Canadian Hype Man B, and you know, it's one of those things where I'm very transparent. I don't claim to be happy all the time because that's not the fucking way life works. Right? People are gonna try and put you down. People are gonna try and devalue yourself as a human being, what it is that you're trying to do. People are gonna try and squash your goals and dreams, but you can't let it. Because that's how you end up living an unfulfilling lifestyle, which, you look back at, you know, and when you're laying on your deathbed and you're sitting there wondering, well, why didn't I do this? Well, why didn't I do that? Well, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that's what fuels me when I get up every day to do what it is that I want to do and do it for me. Because it's I don't know, it's a scary thought to try and wrap your head around being, on your deathbed and you know, for a lot of people it doesn't happen, as early as what it has for me, but here about a month and a half ago I had, well, I guess it's been almost 2 months now. I had my right lung collapse. Um, and laying there with a tube in my chest and coming out my side and coming off of the anesthetic and stuff, and it got me thinking, like, this could have been it, and there's so much that I wanted to do that I still haven't done, and it's because I've let the fear of the opinions of others hold me back from doing it. So when I got out of the hospital and I got healthy enough that I could start doing stuff on my own again, um, I just went for it, and I haven't looked back, and it's been great. As frustrating as what it's been at times, I wouldn't change it because at the end of the night, I lay my head down and my bills are paid, and I'm genuinely happy. Yeah, I'm not making $100,000 a year, but to me, that's not success. I mean, yeah, sure, it might be to some, and if that's your definition of success, then go for it. But as long as my bills are paid, there's a little bit of food in the cupboards, and I'm able to do what I want to do and enjoy doing it day in and day out, that's my success. And I'm on my way because I'm not letting the fear of other people's negativity keep me caged from flying to the dreams that I want to achieve. It's not going to happen. I let it happen for the better part of a decade. I let other people's, you know, opinions diminish what I seen when I looked in the mirror. To the point where, I really believed that I genuinely did not have any value. Um, you know, it, and that's a dark spot. And I know a lot of people, they don't like talking about suicide and stuff like that, but it's got to be talked about, man, because it's real. It's a legit fucking thing, right? And a lot of people I know that I've talked to, anyways, and I mean, again, everybody struggles with their own shit and everybody deals with things differently. But those who have attempted suicide and been unsuccessful have always instantly come back with the response much like my own. Um, you know, it was a millisecond of an action followed by hours and days and months of regret, because I couldn't believe that I had let myself get to that point, that I had let everybody else diminish the value that I carry. It was a rough spot. And I know some of you guys listening now are going through that. And I feel for you. Know that you're not alone. Right? Reach out to me, or anybody that associates with me will tell you, like, their inboxes are open for a reason. Right? I've associated with a lot of different people over the years, but the group that I'm with now are genuine, caring people. So if you're listening to this and you're in that dark spot and you don't see your value, let me know. Let somebody know how you're feeling. But I need you to know that I see the value that you have, the value and the brightness that you bring to the world just by being here and being you. Right? I know some of you have probably been told that you're too much. I know I have. But you're only too much to the people who do not see your value, who cannot learn to appreciate who and what you are. And that's why I always tell people, right, when I'm talking to people, it doesn't matter where they are, and it'll be the end of the podcast, don't forget, always know before you go, even if it's only ever just to me, you're more than enough, right? Because sometimes even just knowing that, right, that somebody out there thinks that I'm enough is enough to get somebody through to the next day, and they might get up that next day, look in the mirror, and see a totally different person. Because instead of somebody diminishing the value, right, they uplift it for a change. And that's why my number one PSA is don't be a dickhead. Because you just don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know the struggles, right? And how do you know on any given day that what you say or do might not be the final straw? Right? That puts somebody into that dark hole where they go, you know what? I don't have any value to bring to this earth anymore. So what's the point in being here? You don't. So again, PSA number one, don't be a dickhead. On a bit of a switch topic, for those of you who who follow me on TikTok, I want to thank you very much for getting me to 31,000 rather. The beginning part of last week. Big shout out there. Thank you to each and every one of you. I appreciate that. Because it's the encouragement and the engagement from you guys that keeps me going. And sometimes I get to a point where I lose track of the value of what I do. I forget how important it is to have people like myself out there in the world, just being transparent and being real, in who they are and what they do, and just being genuine. It's it's a rough thing to come across. Not a rough thing to come across. It's a hard thing to come across, rather. And we live in a society where so many people could give back, and you don't. So don't let yourself be one of those people, because when you reach out and you give back, even if you're like, and I'm not just talking financially, man, even just reaching out and saying, hey, man, I haven't talked to you in a while. I just want to let you know that I'm here for you if you need somebody to talk to right now. Even just that can make a world of difference. And it can remind somebody, that, holy shit, Well, I'm important to somebody, so that must mean I have a little bit of value. And that's what today's podcast was all about, man. Just remembering your self worth, right? And I'm going to go into a couple of different things that I've helped build my confidence and help me remember my self worth. Now, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not some sort of meditation guru. I don't claim to be, nor would I ever claim to be, because I'm not. Um, these, again, are just things that I've found that have worked for me that I'm willing to share. Um, if they work for you, great. If not, know that there are plenty of other strategies out there. You know, uh, for me, it's all about a morning routine, right? I get up, I make my bed, so I feel like I've accomplished something right off the bat. I know people, there's been debates on people saying, oh, well, it's not important. Well, for me, it is, because it feels like as soon as my eyes open, I've already accomplished something. So it sets me off on the right tone. I go in, I get a cold shower because it turns on your fight or flight responses in your body, and really wakes you up and gets you ready to start your day right off the bat. And then I don't touch my phone for the first like 20 minutes or so that I'm up, other than to put on music and motivational stuff. And as I'm sitting there listening to it, I just remind myself, you are a good person, right? You do have value, right? And then go into specifics about it, about your personality, right? And even if it starts shallow, like things about your looks, like, oh, you've got a nice hair, you've got your hair done up nice today, you're looking good, right? Even if it's something like that, start with like 3 to 5 things and go from there. And eventually you'll just get to the point where you'll look at yourself in the mirror as you're walking by and go, hey, look at you, greatness, right? And I know because I've lived it, I've worked it. Again, I don't say that that's going to work for everybody, but chances are, if you try it and like genuinely try it, don't just half-ass it, right? Genuinely try it. Try it for a month. Try for 30 days and see what happens. I guarantee you, the value that you start to see in yourself when you look in the mirror will be exponentially larger than what it was at the start of the 30 days compared to what it is at the end. I have no doubt. And again, I know for a fact that this can be done because I've done it. Right? I seen a post as I was scrolling through my Instagram today. Um, you know, Canadian Hype Man B, of course. My link is in all of my bios on everything, so you guys can find me everywhere. But it was funny because I had posted this, almost 2 years, a little over 2 years ago now. And it was, sometimes in life, you need to take a leap off the dock and know that your belief in yourself will be there to catch you and keep you afloat. And it's true, man. Like, in order to get what you want out of life, sometimes, man, you gotta go outside the comfort zone. You gotta push yourself, and that's a hard thing to do when you don't believe that you have any value, right? So that strategy I mentioned earlier, do yourself a favor, take the leap, try it out, and know that if it doesn't work, that you have enough strength to find something else out there that will. Because it doesn't have to be hard, right? We make things way more complicated than what they need to be. We're our own worst enemy. I've said that right from day one. And I've seen it very much true as my mind changes. And, I go into these certain scenarios with different people. And I know in the past I would have acted or reacted, a certain way in accordance to whom I was there with. But now I've realized that there's no point, right? Just be yourself. And those who are meant to be in your life because they see the value that you hold will stick around, and they'll do anything for you. And those who do not appreciate and devalue what it is that you bring to the earth just by being you will slowly fade away over time. That's one thing I've noticed since starting this whole transformation of finding the value that I hold. It's my social circle, although exceptionally smaller, it's become one of the best social circles that I have ever surrounded myself by in 30 years. So you know, right? That's another thing, guys. Surround yourself by people who uplift you. Surround yourself by people who truly want to see you succeed, right? And you can tell who's truly there for you, because the ones that are truly there for you, when you tell them about your success, will be the ones cheering you on. The ones who want you to get ahead but not ahead of them will be the first one to go, oh, but it could have been better. So look out for that. Keep that in mind, right? Because when you surround yourself by positive people and think positive and manifest positive thoughts for yourself and those around you, positive changes do start to happen. I thought it was all sort of new age, hippy, dippy, witchy, woo woo at first, till I started genuinely giving it a go. And I've seen these changes happen in my life, in my relationship, with my girlfriend, in the relationships that I have with my family, in the relationship that I have with my daughter. Um, I've seen all these different changes happening for me, and that's when I knew it was for real. And it was all because I started to see the value that I hold in my own eyes, not the value I hold in theirs, because that doesn't matter. But the true value I have inside is what I'm now able to see, and what I hope that you guys are someday able to see within yourselves. Really, truly am. But anyways, guys, thank you very much once again for all the birthday wishes. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the very first episode of Get Up, Get Hype. Thank y'all. Canadian Hype Man B signing off. But always know, before I go, even if it's only ever just to me, you guys are more than enough. Later days.